just so we can get on.
Do you have a phone going for me, please? Thank you.
Just know where you're coming from. What do you think should be done about Senator Skelos?
As I had said earlier, our conference had said that a person is innocent until proven guilty. When Shelley Silvers had his issue, I never called for his resignation. What I have said is that if it impedes how we do business and the resolutions that we're able to bring forward, the legislation, it can't impede what we have to do here. I have a responsibility to my constituents, and we all do, to make sure that the people's business continues to be done.
Senator, presumption of innocence is a legal question. In other words, Senator Skelos wouldn't be any more potentially guilty of his crimes if he was not the leader. Selecting the leader is a political decision.
Removing a leader for political reasons, and that's what we're talking about here, is not what we should be doing right now. We have 3 weeks left of session. We need to move on. We need to do the people's business, as I said earlier. If we can continue to do the people's business with as little disruption as possible, that's what we're sent here to do. And today's antics by the Democrats was, I was in the process of honoring a basketball team. How honoring is that when you had the rudeness that was taking place in our chambers? It's akin to a basketball analogy or a sports analogy is taking your ball and going home.
What would you say to your constituents who are concerned by the fact that the two top leaders of your conference are both under the subject of a complaint for one and indicted number two?
I would say that it is very sad that we're seeing as many of our legislators either indicted or having complaints filed or being removed or being convicted, as we saw with the Assemblyman the other day. It's something that we should not have to have in the Assembly and the Senate. We should make sure that what we're doing here is correct. I can tell you sometimes you're trying to do what's right. And when I read the complaint and it talked about the $800,000 for water and sewer projects, I can tell you that that's critically important to my district, making sure that there's monies available for water and sewer. I signed on to a letter to want to do that. So some of the attorneys, of course, in our conference, and I'm not an attorney, who read the complaint, really believe that the information to back up the charges was not there in that complaint.
Did you feel that Adam Skelos played too big a role in the leader's job? Did you see him around often?
I'm very sorry.
Did you ever feel that Adam Skelos was playing too big a role in the leader's job? Did you ever suspect that?
Until this occurred, I didn't know that the leader's son's name was Adam.
Senator, did the people's business get done today?
We passed the resolutions that were on the floor. We honored West Point as we should have. I tried to honor my basketball team from Shenandoah, who was so deserving of it. We passed the legislation that was on our agenda to do. Business did move, but it didn't move in the way that it should if the other house had chosen to stay and either vote no or, at least be there on the floor as they should be.
You continue to support Leader Skelos. You're about to go out to there's going to be a break of about 4 days. What are you going to be telling your constituents?
About what?
About the fact that you continue to support Leader Skelos.
I'm going to tell them exactly what I've just said here.
Senator, just because you do support Senator Skelos staying on as leader?
What I have said is that with 3 weeks left of session, we need to get a lot of work done. The consensus of our conference was to keep Senator Skelos on, that he's innocent until proven guilty. And my own caveat, is that until you can not continue to do what we're supposed to be doing here and it becomes a detraction, that's very important to me.
How do you determine what exactly a detraction is?
Well, how do you determine what a detraction is to you? I certainly have parameters on what I think needs to be done. If it's pre-made by the Democrats, that to me is grandstanding and, taking advantage of a situation that they feel they can politically. When we don't have agendas that has legislation on it that needs to be passed, when we don't have getting work done, that's what I mean by being a detraction.
Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
Kathy, did you find that ironic?